The youngster looked up to check whether anybody else had noticed the odd fragrance in the air. Though it didn't seem like anybody had, he could clearly smell burning. He was feeling queasy due to the bus's motion, but he was unable to get off. His buddies carried on talking and laughing, oblivious to what was happening to him. He detected a burning stench, but no one else appeared to be aware of it. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Trevor took his normal position by the window at precisely 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He gazed at the quiet streets of Pining Grove through the window. He was fantasizing about his favorite video game while fixated on the outside of the window. He was suddenly struck by a strong smell. He was concerned since it smelled strange and terrible. The smell was unlike anything he had ever smelled. Therefore, he was unable to name it. It seemed like it was burning his nose since it was so intense. The bus lurched ahead before anybody else could comment on the stench. There was fear among the passengers as books and backpacks flew everywhere. Kevin saw that Carla Mitchell, the bus driver, had lost control of the vehicle. There was obviously a problem with the bus, but she was fighting mightily to regain control. Carla was doing everything she could to steady the bus as it was wobbling dangerously. She was clearly afraid and confused about why this was occurring. The pungent, enigmatic stench seemed to be choking him, and he knew he needed to act quickly to free himself of it. Trevor slipped inside his backpack and pulled out his cell phone, which fortunately his parents had given him for just such an occasion. His fingers trembling, he punched in 911, his heart pounding. The call was promptly returned, and the operator asked a question in a calming, collected tone. She said, "911, what's your emergency?" At first, Trevor wasn't sure what to say. "Hello, my name is Trevor," he finally stated after regaining his voice. "At Pining Grove Middle School, I attend classes. There is a problem with my school transportation." The bus driver appears worried as it jerks. The 911 operator inquired about the whereabouts of the bus and whether there had been any incidents. Trevor was talking to the dispatcher while the bus driver continued to attempt to maintain control of the vehicle. The 911 operator recognized that she was dealing with a minor and that in order to obtain the information she required from him, she would need to attempt to calm him down. She said, "Stay on the line with me," to a grieving Trevor. She made a gentle attempt to get him to divulge additional details. "Explain everything to me." "Is the bus driver all right?" she inquired. Trevor struggled to provide the dispatcher with the information she required, overcome with fear and anxiety. "All right, sweetie, and what's the bus up to? Do you continue to move?" As she entered all of Trevor's information into the system, she posed the question. Trevor told the operator between sobs that the bus was still driving and that it appeared the driver was having a problem. He was reassured by the dispatcher that assistance was on its way. "You cling on tightly." "Are you okay with us helping you?" she asked the scared youngster. He needed to report what he saw to the operator. "Ma'am," he gasped, "I believe Miss Mitchell is having problems. Her eyes don't stop shutting. I believe she is ill." Even though the operator was now extremely worried, she controlled her voice for Trevor's benefit. To keep herself awake, she instructed him to talk to the bus driver. "See if you can get her to pull over, all right?" she said. "Ma'am," he murmured between gasps, "I believe there is a serious issue with Miss Mitchell. Her eyes don't stop shutting. I believe she is ill," he sobbed. The operator answered, "Okay," trying not to seem very anxious over the phone. "Please talk to her. I need you to do that. Please keep her awake while you try to encourage her to stop." The bus was wobbling dangerously when Trevor yelled out to the driver, who opened her eyes. She needed to pull over to the side of the road, he informed her, adding that he had phoned the police and they would be there shortly. The operator inquired, "Is she pulled off to the side of the road?" Breathlessly, Trevor said, "She's trying." His heart was racing 100 miles an hour because he was so scared. At last, the bus's driver had succeeded in removing it from the busy route. The danger had not yet passed, even if the bus had now stopped. Trevor was scared that something in the air had made the driver lost his senses because of the powerful stench. Never in his life has he felt so afraid. "Is everything in order?" the operator questioned. "It sounds a lot quieter." The kids grew hushed and peered out warily. Trevor continued to explain the situation to the 911 operator while she was on the line. At this point, a few other drivers had stopped to investigate the situation. It appeared as though the bus driver had passed out because she was now hunched over in her seat. The air was filled with the anxious shouts and flashing lights of firefighters and paramedics as they arrived on the scene in a matter of minutes. They evaluated the issue fast, removing the kids to safety and inspecting the ventilation system of the bus. Officer Ramirez approached Carla Mitchell, who was still seated on the bus with glassy eyes, while a police vehicle drew up behind the stopped bus. Officer Ramirez had no time for games. She was a rigorous and serious person. She rushed aboard the bus. Officer Ramirez gave a stern order. "Ma'am, I need you to step out of the vehicle," with a note of anxiety in her voice. Miss Mitchell attempted to get up from her seat, obviously out of it. The woman had to try several times before she was able to get up from her seat. She struggled to keep her eyes open as she stood on shaky legs. Trevor, who was still holding his phone tightly, saw with amazement and relief as the officer's look changed from one of worry to one of firm incredulity. Carla inhaled into a little gadget and bided her time. Carla was drunk. She had failed the test. Before she went on the bus and endangered everyone's life, she had been drinking. Trevor was questioned by the police as firemen looked for the cause of the odd smell. "The smell was burning my nose," the youngster muttered, covering his face with his palm. His voice remained firm as he described the strange fragrance and the sudden jerking of the bus as he related the events leading up to his 911 call. The bus was examined by the responding police. When they opened the hood, all was well. They didn't realize it was the brakes until they phoned the technician to check it out. Her forceful brake application had worn down and scorched the tire. Everyone on the bus could now see how serious the situation was. Miss Mitchell's decision to drive after drinking was extremely risky. Trevor's fast thinking and fearlessness were soon known throughout Penning Grove, and both his instructors and fellow students praised him for them. He gained much more notoriety only for being watchful. When his parents eventually got back together at home, they gave him a deep hug filled with pride. Would the American school transportation system alter in any way as a result of this issue? Following this terrifying event, the school system moved quickly to put additional safety protocols in place. One of their options for keeping an eye on the kids' transportation was to use a buddy system. With immediate effect, every school bus traveling on its afternoon route will have a backup driver to guarantee the security of every student. Trevor Baskins, the young hero who stepped up to the plate in the face of peril and prevented a possible tragedy, is honored today at Penning School. The community is still indebted to him for his bravery, serving as a constant reminder to all of us that heroes may appear in the most unexpected places, even on a school bus trip home. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.